Welcome back to Sports Rock.
Rock.
We're going to dig into the NFL playoffs a little bit. Pittsburgh going down last week was a big surprise. That was pretty much the only surprise.
It was a good one,
It
though.
was a very good one. I think we can all agree that God is a Tim Tebow fan.
Tebow!
Yeah. Tebow it.
This week in the AFC, you've got the Broncos and the Patriots on Saturday night. And on Sunday at 1 p.m., you've got the Texans and the Ravens. What's your call on the Broncos-Patriots game? This is going to be quick.
Well, I like the Patriots. I think the Tebow run, the Tebow magic is over.
Said that last week, too.
Well, that's true. I did say that. I never thought they'd beat Pittsburgh. There's no question about that. But New England, this game is in New England, so that's an advantage to them. They don't lose games at home very often. They score points. Pittsburgh's offense, and Pittsburgh was banged up. Pittsburgh lost some players during that game. Their quarterback was banged up. They lost their best running back the week before against Cleveland. Denver's going to have to score points. They like to throw the ball deep when they do throw it, but they like to run the ball. And I know New England's defense isn't all that, but Belichick's had time to prepare. And you give Bill Belichick time to prepare, he's awfully tough to beat.
Okay.
Well, last 2 years, New England's lost home games in the playoffs. I'm not on the Tebow bandwagon. I think New England will win this game, and I agree totally with Doug. Belichick, when it comes time to prepare, he will be prepared. And they do not want to go a third year losing at home in the playoff. This one goes to the Patriots.
I will say, you saw the Pittsburgh Steelers get outcoached, especially on defense, which is highly, highly rare for a Dick LeBeau defense to get outcoached. Tebow looked very good, but he only completed 10 passes. Granted, it was 10 passes for 316 yards for an average of 31.6 yards.
John 3:16.
Just saying, a little coincidental, maybe not. Pittsburgh is getting old. That's why they're so banged up. Roethlisberger cannot do it like he used to. He used to be able to go out there and limp around and still play like the Ben Roethlisberger of old. He can't do it anymore. Pittsburgh's showing their age. I do believe that this is the beginning of the decline for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I could not be happier.
Amen!
That being said, New England, their defense is not quite as good as Pittsburgh's. However, their offense, if they get into a shootout with Denver, will definitely win that contest. So I want to go Denver. I want to ride the Tebow magic and make that prediction, but I'm not. New England's going to win this game. I honestly believe that.
I think we're all in agreement with that.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
I do believe
So, moving on to the Houston Texans at the Baltimore Ravens. Go ahead, Jim.
This might be the surprise pick of them all. Baltimore Ravens definitely have a great defense. Their offense is shaky at times. I think Houston might be riding a little bit of a crest right now to where they may actually be able to pull this one off. And
Yates looked good.
young kid,
Really
he's going to be going into a very volatile situation because they're going to Baltimore. Baltimore's had a week of rest. It's going to be I think this will be a very good game. Might be one of the better games of the weekend, actually. I'm going to give a slight edge to the Texans on this one.
Ooh. You think T-Sizzle's not going to quite get the job done? That Ravens defense is going to...
I think Houston has a very good defense of their own.
They do?
And quite honestly, Joe Flacco is so up and down that if he's had time off, limelight spinning in his face, it's like, you're going to get this hands down, you guys got no problem. They may have their hands full against the Texans, and just slight edge with the Texans.
I think T-Sizzle will get her done. I think Baltimore playing at home. The Texans do have a pretty good defense. I think it's a good possibility that T.J. Yates will be overwhelmed by the Raven defense. The pressure will come.
Yes.
They can run the ball, but the Ravens can stop the run. Flacco can have up and down games. He hasn't played too badly in the playoffs before. So I would lean towards Baltimore. It'd probably be by at least a touchdown, maybe more.
I think me personally, as much as I like Arian Foster, Baltimore has a really good defense. Ray Lewis, even though he's getting up there in years, still one of the best linebackers in the league. Ed Reed, still one of the best safeties in the league. And you do have Suggs, who's just a man among boys out there. I think they're going to shut down Foster, which is going to limit Houston's offense, although Yates did look pretty good last week.
The Bengals defense.
I think
Bengals defense? Come on, don't discredit them.
Yeah.
They're not Baltimore's.
But I think the key factor in this game is going to be Ray Rice. Ray Rice has just been so good. I mean, he's man among boys. He really is. And I think he makes that Baltimore offense so much more potent. Gives Flacco a lot of different options. And I don't think Houston's defense is going to be able to stop him. They're going to be maybe able to hold him down a little bit, but I think he's going to be the deciding factor.
Yeah, well,
and I do believe Baltimore is going to beat him.
Especially
at home.
How often is Ray Rice going to be on the field, though? Baltimore, for some reason, mysteriously don't play him when they need to.
No, but he'll go out there and break off a 50-yard run and then not play for a couple downs and go out there and break off a freaking 80-yard run. I mean, he's got that explosive power. He really does. So I think he's going to be the big factor for Baltimore, to be honest.
He needs to be wearing an orange and white.
Oh, I can't disagree with that. But unfortunately, that's not going to happen. So.
Well, I'm outnumbered on this one, people.
Well, hey, it happens. In the NFC, the playoff picture is the Saints and the 49ers at 4:30 on Saturday. And on Sunday, you were looking at 4:30, the Giants and the Packers. Let's start with the Saints and the 49ers. This game, I think, is going to be probably, of all the games, the best, I would say.
It could be. It does match up to be one of the best games of the weekend. There's no question about that. If I have to make a pick, I'm going to lean towards the 49ers. I think it's their defense. I think New Orleans playing outside, even though the weather's supposed to be pretty good in San Francisco on Sunday or Saturday, should help New Orleans. But I think playing on a slower turf with the 49er defense, the 49ers are going to try to control the ball. They run the ball. Alex Smith. If there's ever anybody that's called a game manager, it would be Alex Smith. To not turn the ball over, run the ball with Frank Gore, keep Drew Brees in that offense off the field, play solid defense. I like the 49ers. The 49ers are going to have to keep the ball game within 20 to 17 type game. If it gets more and more in a higher scoring game, then New Orleans is going to be a team to be reckoned with. But if they can keep it down 20 points or less, I like the 49ers.
Okay.
Well, I'll tell you what, right now, I'm really anticipating this game, and I'm looking forward to watching this game. My pick, quite honestly, I think I made it earlier, was the Saints to the Super Bowl.
Oh, when the Saints go
Come
marching in.
Oh, when the Saints go marching in. But I'll tell you something right now, I totally respect the San Francisco 49ers, and I think they're a very solid team on both sides of the ball. This is going to be a very interesting game, and this will be the one that the Saints have to win if they're going to make the Super Bowl. I think what it will come down to, in my opinion, is the play of the quarterback. I think that the quarterback is going to make the biggest play of the game here, and I think, quite honestly, the Saints have the better quarterback between the two. Playing outside hasn't been great for the Saints, but the weather should be good. That's what they say. This one, I think, is going to be one of very tight game, and I think the Saints will pull it off, but it's not going to be by much. And if not, they've lost to probably the Super Bowl champion.
You got a score pick?
Do I pick a score? I'm going to say 24-21, Saints.
Well, I think that San Francisco's defense is most certainly better than the Detroit defense that New Orleans saw last week. I was totally wrong. I picked the Lions last week. New Orleans made pretty quick work of them and beat them pretty good. I was very impressed by that. I like San Francisco a lot. I think they've got a very solid team, both offense and defense. Without a doubt, though, their defense is their strong point. But Alex Smith has had a very good year. He's got some weapons around him. So I'm going to go San Francisco, give them the home field edge, and that's definitely who I'm going to be rooting for.
Yep.
So even though you can't, it's hard to bet against Breeze.
Jimbo's out on a limb again this week on New Orleans.
Yeah, well, he's got to be.
Most definitely. Most definitely.
He's definitely got to be.
Oh, when the Saints come marching in.
So moving on to the Giants and the Packers. Go ahead.
Well, I like the Packers. I think playing at home, having the week off, certainly time to prepare. They've had some tragedy in Green Bay that's unfortunate. I think the team will rally around. Defensively, I know statistically they rank near the bottom, but they do lead the league in interceptions with 31. So they can pick the ball off. They've got some guys coming back. Charles Woodson will be back. Clay Matthews will be back. So they should be at fairly full strength defensively. Offensively, I mean, it's a shootout when you play Green Bay. They're going to score points. I know the Giants defensively have played well. Their front four has played tremendously. I think Rodgers will offset that by being able to move around the pocket. He can dump the ball off on screen passes, kind of negate the pass rush of Green Bay. I'll take Green Bay 31-20.
Okay.
Wow, 31-20. Yeah, shootout, I expect that, in a way. Temperature's supposed to be right around the 20-degree area. Not a factor for either one of those two teams. They're both cold weather teams.
But it is at the Tundra.
Playing
In
at
Green Bay.
home in Green Bay.
Yeah. It's a big deal.
It's huge. It's a huge deal.
is.
It's a huge deal. And quite honestly, when they have what I feel right now to be the best quarterback in the NFL, and Aaron Rodgers, that's a tough task to handle. I do feel that the New York Giants have an outstanding defensive line, and their linebackers are really good, and they're coming on at the right time. If there was any time for an upset, now would be it. I have to give the edge to the Packers, though. They're playing at home. I do feel that they will win, and it'll be very close.
Packers, without a doubt, Packers, and I don't even think it's going to be close. I think Packers are going to win by at least 2 touchdowns. That'll do it for the second segment of Sports Rock.
Sprock.
Join us after the break. We will get into the NBA, a little bit of basketball, talk some Cavs.